Welcome to the next lesson of the HTML tutorial. In the previous lesson, we had talked about HTML headings, paragraphing our text into the HTML web page, pre-element, we talked about BR element, and we talked about the HR, that is horizontal rule. In today's lesson, we will talk about HTML formatting. So what we mean by formatting? Like when you use a word processor like MS Word, so you must be familiar about the ability to make text bold, italicized, underlined, and so much. So that's called formatting. That's called text formatting. So how we can perform these text formatting? So let's go and see what are the tags available for the text formatting. So we'll start with the first tag, that is the bold tag. So just to make the text bold, we will use these bold tags, opening and closing bold tags. So let me show you with the example. Let me open the web page we have already created in the previous lesson. That was the heading example. So let me open this in the notepad, as well as let me open this in the browser. So you can see we had created this web page in the last lesson where we talked about the main heading, the subheadings, the paragraph, the indentations, the alignment of the text. We talked about the horizontal rule, the center alignment. We had talked about the BR tag. So we had talked about pre-tag also. So we have already used all these things into our previous lesson. So let us work with some text formatting tags today. Now our first text formatting tag is the bold tag. To make any text bold, we just need to use this bold tag, and we'll use this opening bold tag, and we'll use this closing bold tag to mark the text we want to make it bold. So let me open this source file of this web page we had created into the last lesson. So now let me make this text bold. Let's say if in this paragraph I have the text some information, and I want this some information to be present in bold. So what I need is I'll simply add this bold tag. I'll simply add this bold tag in the beginning and in the end of this marking till where I want the text to be bold. I'll use the closing bold tag, and now I'll click on Ctrl S. We'll go back to the web page and we'll refresh. So now you can see in this second paragraph we have this some information text is in bold, right? So it's bold and it's now much more visible in our web page. So this is the first formatting that we can do with the text, that is we can make our text bold. Let's see what next we can do is we can make the text strong. So just to make the text strong, we use this strong opening and closing tag. So let me use this strong tag into the paragraph. Now let me make this okay, let me make this, I have some information, let me make this strong. So I'll use that strong tag, the opening strong tag, and then I'll use this closing tag after this place. So we're simply marking up this text from here to here in strong. So let me press on Ctrl S, let me go back and let me hit. So you can see now this is the strong text. Obviously it's a little bit different from what we have here. So this is the strong tag. Now let's see what tag else we can use for the formatting. We can use italic. So just to make the text appear italicized. So now this is a small I. Let me use this italic tag. Let me use this italic tag in here I have. So I want this to be italicized. So I'll simply use the I tag, and after the marking of this text I'll use the closing I tag. I'll hit Ctrl S. We'll go back and we'll click on refresh. Now you can see this is italicized. Now let's talk about next tag that is available, that is emphasize text. So we use emphasize text to emphasize any text. So let me use this emphasize text. Obviously the tag is em. Let me go back to my source file of the web page. Now I'll go to the paragraphs, some more elements. Let me choose this. Okay, so let me choose this. Here I have, and I want this to be emphasized. So I'll just go and mark this text to be emphasized. I'll save it with Control S. We'll go back, click on refresh. So you can see this is emphasized. It is similar to, almost similar to the italicized, but it's a little bit different if you can notice the difference between these two things. So the next formatting tag is the highlighting. So if you want to highlight a text in the HTML, then we use this mark text. So we will use this mark text to highlight some text. Let's say I want to highlight this information. So what I will use, I'll use mark text. I'll use mark, and after this marking off, I'll use the closing tag. Then I'll hit Control S. We'll go back and refresh the page. Okay, just because the background is yellow, we'll not be able to identify the mark tag. So let me first change the background color of this web page. That we have yellow. Let me change this from yellow to blue. So I'll go back, I'll hit refresh. Now this is blue. Now you can see this is mark text. You can see because the marking color is yellow by default, so this is the marking of the text. So we can also use any other color. Let's say if I want to use here as a pink color, so I can use it as pink color also. So this is pink. So this is the marking tag. Let's see what other tag I have. We have underlined text. Just to underline any text, we use the U opening and closing tag. If I want this mark tag to be underlined, so we can nest these two tags, nesting. So I'll nest this U tag inside the mark tag. So let me find the mark tag, and inside the mark tag I'll use U tag. And remember, if I have opened this U inside the mark tag, so I'll need to close this U before the mark tag. So this is how nesting works. The tag we have opened first must be closed last, and the tag we have opened last must be closed first. So it must be closed first. So we can see where is that right, this was opened last, so it will be closed first. So let me hit the save button. We'll go back and hit the refresh, and now you can see this is marked as well as underlined. We can underline any other text also. Let's see what is the next tag we have. We have strike tag. It is very useful tag. Normally if you are running an e-commerce website, so you will be using this as strike tag. This is just used to strike some text. So let me use this as strike tag in the, let's say in paragraph 1 I would like to strike this text, so I'll just use a strike. Now I'll hit Control S to save it. We'll go back to the web page, we'll refresh the web page, and we'll go up, and you can see this is the text, striked text. Normally we used to show the old price and then the discounted price. So this is the strike text. The next tag that we can use is a mono-spaced font. So we can use the mono-spaced font. It will make your text visible a little bit in a different way. So let me use this mono-spaced font, just after the strike tag. So I'll begin it with double T, and this information I'll need to mark, right? So hit Control S, we'll go back, click on refresh, and now you can see this information is in mono spaced, right? So these are all the formatting we can use. Let's go and see what other things we have. Close this. Let me go to the source, right? So the next tag that we have is superscript. We use these superscript mainly in mathematical formulas. We use superscripting, we use subscripting in these formulas. So let's see what is the purpose of this superscript. So let me go back to the source file, and let me write, if I want here x square, so I'll write x, then I'll write 2. So if I'll write this in the same manner, then it will be visible here just x2, but this is not x square. So I want this to be superscripted 2, so I'll add a superscript tag and mark this 2 inside superscript tag. So I'll go back and refresh, and now you can see it's superscripted. So that's good. You can write formulas now into your text. Let's see, in the same manner we have the subscript. If you want to write some chemical formulas, then definitely you will be using the subscripting. So let me use that subscript here also. Let me write H2O. So for that H2O, okay, let me use H2O, and this needs to be subscripted. So I'll use sub before this 2, and after this 2 I'll close this sub tag. I'll hit Control S to save and then refresh. So you can see this is H2O. So now this 2 is subscripted. So this is the subscript tag we can use. What is the next tag that we can use is inserted text. So basically inserted tag and the delete text normally used together. This works as an strike tag, and this works as an inserted value. So we want to, if we want to display some information to the user that now this information is not of that matter, and this is the new information that we should refer, so we'll use del and ins tag together. So let me use this del and ins tag together in my web page. Let's say if I don't want to see this here information, so I'll use a del. I'll close the del, and instead of this here I want to put there. So now before there I'll use ins, that is the insert tag, and after there I'll close this ins, that is insert tag. So let's go back to the browser and see the effect. You can see this is crossed and this is underlined. So that means now this information is not relative, not required, and this is what we have. So this is the delete and the insert tag together. Commercial websites use it a lot. Let's see what is the next tag. We have the larger text, that is with the help of the big, and we also have the smaller text tag that we can use with the help of the small tag. So let me do it. Let me go to the source code, and now I want this, let me go to the paragraph. Let's say if I want this information to be in big, so I'll keep big just in front of this. I'll use big, and here I'll close the big tag, and if I want I to be in small, then I'll write small, and after I'll close this small. Now let me go to the browser and see the difference. You can see this information now is in big, it's in big size, and this I